Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how much I spent getting my German driver's license. If you didn't know before now, I recently got my driver's license in Germany and it costed me so much money to get this license. And I already gave a breakdown of some of the instances, what happened and all of that. If you didn't watch that, you can watch the previous video and catch up to understand how much I struggled to have this driver license I now have and that I'm now enjoying. It was not an easy journey, it was not an easy process. I failed so many times. I didn't give up. I kept on going for the exams until I got what I wanted. So if you have been struggling so much with your German driving exams, I'm here to encourage you. Don't give up, keep at it. You know what you want. Until you get that, don't give up. I know it's going to cost you so much when it comes to money, and it's also going to give you so much mental stress, but I'm telling you right now that you should hang in there. Let's dive into the gist of the video of today. So I inform you all that I'm going to give you a breakdown of how much I spent getting my driver's license, so that you have a glimpse of how much it actually costs for you to get the driver's license in Germany. You might not spend up to what I spent. I don't even wish anybody to spend up to what I spent, because each time I look at that figure, it's like I should cry, because it's just so much money. I don't wish anybody spending like me. So I'll just give you a breakdown cost of how much you should spend if you are looking forward to have a driver's license, and I will also tell you how much I spent. Starting off, normally in Germany, before you get your driver's license, you're supposed to get your eye test done. You're supposed to take a first aid course and then go to your driving school, your preferred driving school, register and submit the document at Landratsamt. Landratsamt will do all your checks and balance and then inform your driving school that you can now go in for the theory exams. Once that confirmation is there, you go in for your theory exams, you pass. Before you even go for the exam, you're supposed to be taking classes to your driving school to prepare you for the theory exams, and alongside some apps that you'll be preparing with. You can get the app from the school or you can get it from Play Store or Apple Store. Yeah, it just depends on your preferences, but I got mine from the driving school. I paid about 80 euros to get this driving app. So once you get that done, you go for your theory exams, you pass, then you have to come back and start doing practice. This applies to my city where I did it. I'm in Schwarzwald in Baden-Württemberg. That's where I did my driving license. It might be different in another state. It might be different in another city. So this is specific to where I did my driver's license. When it's time for you to do your practice exams, you have to normally do 12, I think it's 12, either 12 or 14 practice sessions. So you do 5 times driving within the city, 3 times at night, and 4 times on the highway, just so you understand how to drive in these different scenarios. After you've done all these and you're ready for the exams, then your examiner will register, your teacher will register you for the practice exams, and then you go to TÜV and write your exams and then come out with your driving license. In my case, I did so many practice sessions. Yeah, for the theory exams, I wrote the exams once and I passed. Let me now give you a breakdown of how much I spent to finally get my German driver's license. It was not easy. I tell you, it was not easy. This is the most tough exam I've ever had in my life. Since I started schooling from primary school to now, I've never felt so dumb like driving school made me feel. Yeah, it challenged my patience, my tolerance, my endurance. It tested everything. But one thing I'm so glad is that I didn't give up. In spite of how many times I failed, I kept on going, because I know how important it is for me to get this driving license. Yeah, I know how it's going to ease my movement. You know, when you have a car, especially in winter, when you are in winter, that's when you see the importance of having a car. In summer, you can be okay because you just take a bus, take a train and go. It's not too cold. In winter, when you're in -10, -15, even -1, it's cold. And you have to walk under that cold to wherever you're going to wait for bus or to wait for train. If you don't, God, if you have not tested, you will not understand. So if you've tested it, you know what I'm talking about. You know how important it is for you to have a car for commuting. It's very, very important here. In the abroad, having a car is not a luxury. It's a big necessity. It will ease a lot of things for you, and that's why, in spite of how many times I failed, I kept on going because I know how much I need this. Like I said, before you do your driving and lessons with any school, you have to register with the school because they have to take you on some classes. I know I paid between 500 to 600 euros as a registration to take my driving lessons with the school. Then I also paid for eye test. This one is very cheap. You can pay between 6 euros to 10 euros for this, and you get it immediately. You go to these shops where they sell eyeglasses, they will run this test for you almost immediately, and you have the result. For the first aid course, you have to pay between 50 euros to 60 euros. It depends which provider you use. You can use Johanniter, Red Cross, Malteser, but in my case I use Red Cross because at that time I was working with Red Cross. So as a staff working with Red Cross, I didn't have to pay for the first aid course. That one was free for me. If you're not a staff in any of this organization, then you have to pay to get this test done. Now when that is concluded, the next thing you spend money on will be if you want to get the app, you have to pay extra to get this app. In my case, I think I paid about 70 euros for the app. I don't think I didn't add this thing in this money. Let me add it because I failed to add that in my cost. So I'll say app 70 euros. I didn't pay for first aid. Eye test. Let me just put 6 euros. Okay, so once you have paid for all of these, and then you get the app, you might get a free app on App Store. I don't know how accurate that will be, but I will tell you that it's very, very important for you to practice with the app. For me, in my case, you're supposed to attend 14 lessons with your driving school. I attended all the 14 lessons, but I will personally say I got most of my knowledge more from the app. The more you practice with the app, the more you get familiar with those driving technical questions. So for me, I would say 90% of my knowledge, I got it from the app, and I got 10% from the classes I attended, because by the way, the class is in German, and I'm really not so good at German. I try to understand what I can understand. And then they also had some books in school. When I go to school, I could just flip through the pages and see what's important and make some pictures and videos and also revise with that. But for the most part, I got most of my knowledge from the app. And I will tell you that it's very, very important for you to have this app. You decide if you want to get it from the school at a cost, or you want to just download an app from Play Store and maybe pay monthly. Yeah, but everything I studied in this app is the same thing that came in the exam. So the app is 100% effective. You don't have anything to worry about. So if all of this is done and you're ready to go for your theory exams, you also have to pay to do your theory exams. And the fee for the theory exams is 75 euros. That's what you pay to get your theory exams done. So after theory, hopefully you pass. The next stage now is for you to start going for your practice sessions with your teacher. So the school is going to dedicate a particular teacher for you who will always take you out for driving sessions during the day, in the quarter, and also on highways at night. You know, you have to drive in all of these scenarios. And now at this stage, it depends on how good you are. If you are someone who already drove a car before doing your driving license here, it will be way more easier for you. In my case, I had never ever in my life driven a car before. This was my first time having an attempt to drive a car. So for me, everything was new. It was a very fresh start. And this is one thing that contributed to me spending so much. I spent a lot to get this license. You won't understand. By the end of this video, you understand what I'm talking about. I spent so much. It's paining me in my heart of hearts. Yeah, it's paining me. But the good part of it is that I now have my license. That's the only thing that consoles me. It's just like childbirth. When you want to give birth to your child, you feel so much pain during the labor process and all. And by the time you have the baby in your hands, you just forget the whole stress that you went through. It's the same thing that just plays out in this driving school stuff. But at the end of the day, like I said, from time to time, it still pains me when I look at that money and I compare to what I can do with that money in my home country. I'll say, God, anyways, it's okay. Thank you that finally you gave me. Some people will spend up to this and will still not have the license, but in my case, you still ended up giving me the license. I'm so grateful for that. Okay, so moving on. So for your practice sessions, every time you go to practice, you're paying per hour, or you can pay per 45 minutes. It depends on your school. In my school, sometimes we'll drive 45 minutes. Like at the beginning, we drove 45 minutes, and then later on we started driving 55 minutes. Sometimes we drive 1 hour. So it was just fluctuating. It was not always the same how long we'll drive. But looking at my receipts from the school, my practice were 68 euros per practice session. That's what I paid. Yeah, I know if this is calculated per hour, then a day that I drive for 45 minutes, this money will be reduced lesser, so I'll not pay up to this amount for that day. So yeah, but in my case, like I said, my receipt shows that I was paying 68 euros per practice hour. So per I don't know if it's 45 minutes or it's 1 hour for this 68 euros, but that's how much I paid each time I went out to drive. Yeah, so for that, it costed me, this is just normal practice. So if you hear how much I pay just to do my normal practice, like I said, I failed these exams. I passed these exams at my 6th attempt. To tell you that I practiced until I was ready. I went for the exams, I failed. Then after that, you have to go back to your school, you pay money again, you do some lessons before you register again for the exams. And each time you're going for the exam, you have to pay TOEFL. You pay your driving school as well. So you're paying both of them each time you're going for the exam, because your teacher will be there together with the examiner from TOEFL. So you're going to be 3 of you doing the exam lessons, during your exam. But doing normal practice is just you and your teacher. So like I said, for the practice sessions, which is even fat, because I'm doing my driving exam was for class B driver's license. That's what I did, just to drive my normal cars. Yeah, so like I said, it's 68 euros that was calculated as my, I don't know if it's per minute per 45 minutes, or it's per 1 hour, or it's per 55 minutes. I cannot take note of that on my paper, but yeah. So just normal practice costed me 3,224 euros. That's how much I gave out. God, that's how much I gave out just to practice driving. At this point, let me just give you an advice. If you are still outside of this abroad, you are still planning to come, you better start doing your driving license right now. Like, don't just get the license without you knowing how to drive. Actually learn how to drive, because it's way more cheaper wherever you are. Yeah, as long as you're not in the Western world, driving wherever you are will be so cheap. So try your best to learn how to drive, be an expert in it, have the license, so that when you come here, you spend way lesser than someone who is starting at first like me. See how much I gave just to practice. That's how much I gave out for practice. 3,224 euros. And then sometimes we'll have special practice sessions, which is like the ones that are preparing you for exam. That one, the price is different. It's 78 euros I paid for that. I had 12 Zonderfahrt, which is like special driving session, just like you're driving to prepare for an exam. Yeah, so I had 12 of that, and it costed me 936 euros. That's how much I paid for special driving session. So after all this practice session, you're supposed to go for exam. When you're ready to go for your exam, you have to pay for your exam. You pay the school 175 euros as your exam fee. That's what you're paying to the school. For one time that you're going for exam, you pay 175. And then you will pay TOEFL. For the first exam you go to TOEFL, this is how much you pay TOEFL. You pay TOEFL 154.82 cents. So 154 euro.2 is, to round it up, will be 155 euros that you will pay to TOEFL for the first time you're going for the TOEFL driving exams. That's the exams for you to qualify you to have the driving license. That's how much you will pay to TOEFL after paying 175 euros to your school. So if you calculate that, how much is that? And then if you go and it happens that you didn't pass, you have to go back to your school, pay money again to do some practice sessions. Your teacher will tell you, you need to practice this based on the feedback from the exam, and then you do like another 3 or 4 or 5 sessions again, and then you pay the school again 175 euros. And now to TOEFL you pay a little bit lesser, you pay 129.83 euros to TOEFL for you to do the practice exams again. So this is how much I kept on paying: 175 to school, 129.83, which is, let me just round it up to 130. This is what I was paying to TOEFL, 130, and I'll pay the my school 175 each time I go for the exam. So like I said, I passed this exam when I'm at my seat at 10. Do the math yourself, like do the math, yeah. So in my case, for the exam fee, how much I paid to the school, I paid 875 euros to the school to take the exams, yeah. And then to TOEFL, I paid 803 euros. That's how much I paid to TOEFL to take my exams. Ah, God. As I'm talking like this, my heart is spinning. Just tell me, Vanessa, it's okay in the comment section so that my heart can calm down. Yeah, please tell me it's okay. So you all have seen how much I spent to have my driver's license. Let me now give you a grand total of all of these costs so you understand how much I spent to have this German driving license. To have a German driving license is not chokomilo, it's not biscuit. Of course, some people do it at the first attempt and they pass. Yeah, not everybody will spend up to 3,000 euros. Some people can spend 2,000, some people 2,500, some people even maybe less than that. There are some people that will spend up to what I've spent, and they still keep on spending because it's just unfortunate that they didn't pass the exams. And this is me telling you my reality, how much I spent. Like, it's crazy, man. Hey, let me give you now the final cost, how much I spent to have my German driving license. Ah, God. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This way. So now let me give you a breakdown. Yeah, let us go back to the figures and then we'll have the grand total. How much I spent to have my driver's license in Germany. Hey, Jesus. That's what they do for you. Okay, so I said I paid for registration fee between 500 to 600, but we are calculating 500 euros because I cannot keep track of the other amount. Yeah, so 500 euros for registration at the driving school. For the app, we put 70 euros. For eye test, let's say 6 euros. Then for the special driving practice, like to practice to go for exam, you know, yeah, that is 936 euros. For my normal practice sessions, just normal practice sessions, 3,224 euros. For my practice exam, like how much I paid for practice exam to the school, to my driving school, 875 euros. For the theory exams, I paid this one to TOEFL. This is 75 euros. For the money I paid to TOEFL each time I'm going for my practice exam to get a license, I paid 803 euros 97 cents. When I do my math, this gives me a grand total 6,489 euros. Somebody shout hallelujah. Hey, Vanessa. Jesus. Hey, God. Just to have a driver's license. Look at how much I spent. Now you understand when I say this thing costed me so much money. Now you understand when I say if you have the opportunity to do your license before you come abroad, my brother, my sister, do that license. Don't just have the license, but actually know how to drive. Driving here and driving back home, they are two different things, but it's far more better when at least you have an idea you have a clue of how to operate a car, how to drive a car. And you know, like I said in my previous video, one big mistake I made was to learn both automatic and manual. Had it been I knew, I wouldn't have even dared to try the manual car, because I did like 10 practice sessions with the manual car. 10 just went for waste. Like after doing that, I was like, 9, I don't think I can drive a manual car. It's so stressful. You have to first of all be so attentive on the road, and at the same time you need to be you have to engage clutch, you need to match brakes, like change the handbrakes, put this. I was like, 9, I don't think I can do that. That's going to be so stressful for me. And I had to, you know, just finally decide to just concentrate on solely on my automatic car. And this is my big advice to you. If you know that you don't plan to drive a manual car after you're done with your driving license, don't even bother taking manual classes. Yeah, just concentrate on your automatic. And if you think that you want to drive your manual car after you're done with your driving school, just learn the manual and leave it there. When you're done with this thing and you finally have your license, and at the end of the day you want to learn the other one, since you can already drive, it's going to be so much easier for you, other than you going to driving school and you're spending so much money. Hey, you guys, you've seen how much it costed me to do this license. When you see me on the road, please dash me money. Please dash me money. I am broke. I am as broke as the word broke. See how much driving school collected from me. But anyways, the good thing is that I spent this much and finally I have the license. My biggest prayer to God every day is that you should drive us safely. Yeah, that chapter of my life is now closed. Now it's over to me getting the car that I like. And yeah, so that has been it from my part, and I hope you take some of the advice I gave you in this video. Yeah, be very intentional about what you're doing. I will not say put in your, like, be careful not to fail. Nobody goes for an exam and wants to fail. I'll just tell you to put in your best. Just do your best that you can do, and you're very convinced with yourself that I did my best, so I'll leave the rest to God for him to do his part. Because hey, God, Vanessa. Anyway, guys, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you learn one or two from my story, and I'm just wishing you all the best of luck. I pray you pass it like as fast as possible. You don't get to spend so much like I did. Glory to God, I have the license at last. So I wish you all the very, very best. You all have a very fabulous day. Bye.